Hey everybody, this is Jackie. I am an EMDR therapist from Chicago. Today I really just want to hop in and share with you that I really believe a lot of us have a common thread of having moments in our lives, having imprinted negative beliefs about ourselves, negative thoughts, negative messages of being not good enough, being bad, being unlovable. Those messages impact us today. Maybe it causes you to tolerate a lot of things that you know you shouldn't within your friendships and relationships. Maybe it causes immense anxiety when you have to do a project at work. Maybe it causes some imposter syndrome, feeling like, oh my goodness, even my successes I have are a fluke. It can't possibly be a real success. I believe that a lot of these negative thoughts about ourselves have an origin. And EMDR is really, really effective at going to the origin, going to the source, allowing your brain to process those events in a way that quiets the noise of those negative beliefs. And can you imagine approaching different tasks in life without the noise of those negative thoughts about ourselves? Today I'm going to be showing you an interview with someone named Gabby. She's a fellow therapist who volunteered to participate in an EMDR session with me, and here's her story.
Both of my parents were on drugs, and so we were processing a situation where I was younger. This was younger Gabby, and her parents were down in the basement, and for whatever reason I knew that what they were doing, and I was frustrated, and I wanted them to come and do something upstairs. I went to go get them, and I felt like just blatantly ignored. It was that reaction that I had, that very big explosive reaction that I had to get their attention. It worked temporarily. EMDR session just helped to make things clear, like to help me what my linear reasoning was. It helped to reorganize that, because I was taking on things, little Gabby was taking on things that grown-up adult Gabby was carrying. And I hadn't even thought about or realized that adults don't do things that they don't want to do. Like, somebody can be on drugs and like, hey, you want to do this? And I reserve the right to say yes or no, whether or not I will want to engage in that. And if adults don't want to do it, they don't do it. But if they want to do it, they engage, and that has nothing to do with the child. And that was liberating.
I want you to talk about a pivotal moment during the session, because this moment stood out as very powerful to me. It was a moment where you kind of envisioned younger Gabby, almost kind of shrugging off her shoulders like, oh, okay, that's not on me. Can you tell me what that moment was like for you?
The trauma that was attached to it never had been processed the way it was in the EMDR session. So it was like little Gabby being able to process that. I know you're hurting right now, but this has nothing to do with you. Even after the session, like to this day, I still feel like my brain breaking down things and processing and pulling things together. So my implicit memories that really were out there without a home, but they were just there as reserves to keep me safe and help me to know how to respond to certain situations, now have context, and they're more explicit, which helps to make clear of things that I've been holding on to that I didn't need to.
Right. Well, it sort of gives you more freedom in the present to actually have more control over your responses and decisions and behaviors, instead of almost feeling just run by some of those memories in the past. You came to work on your response to feelings of overwhelm. How has that been going for you now since the session?
Honestly speaking, I was going to say, I don't feel like I've been put in situations where I'm that triggered, but I have been, now that I think about it. Okay. But because the response has been differently, it makes me look at it differently. And
that's huge. Gabby. Do you realize how huge that is? Because we kind of go through life on autopilot and we're just sort of reacting to things. And you made a huge shift in the reaction. Because I know you, I know that you've been through some stressful things the last couple weeks. And your reaction might have been differently, but your brain did the healing. And so it created new neural pathways to be able to respond like with a level head, with all the information and a bit more grounded. I think that's huge. That's amazing.
My reactions to things have definitely been different. And I know, like, as you know, the past few weeks, there have been a lot of transitions that were happening that brought up all those feelings again, but I allow my body and my brain to process it differently. It really just makes me feel like more in control.